Hello, welcome to the Basic Fetch Bachelor Recap. I'm Katie Dolle. It is week 7, lucky number 7. All right, I'm gonna bring up my notes on my phone and we are gonna talk about all the stuff that happened this week. Spoiler alert, he managed to send home 2 girls without ever having a rose ceremony. I mean, this guy is just a real rule breaker. And I have to say, I really like rose ceremonies. I like seeing girls get all dressed up, only to not get a rose and then cry with all their mascara running down their face going home in the limo. I don't like all this weird thing of picking girls out of nowhere and just sending them home. And of course, Rachel is the new Bachelorette. Woo! More on that later. We start off with a man-on-man convo between Nick and Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison has the easiest job in the world. Don't you guys think? He just gets to fly all over and his only job is to be there whenever the Bachelor wants to talk to him or to introduce the rose ceremonies, which there are none this week. So, I don't know, I feel like he just gets to kind of chill out and then he gets a phone call every once in a while like, hey, I think it's time for you to go say something to Nick. So, in this man-on-man convo, Nick says he doesn't know if he wants to keep going and he's worried that he doesn't think the process is working. Come on, dude, this is your 4th time on the show. Of course you want to keep going. You love this shit. There's just so much dramatic music, so many commercial breaks, and I know that it's not leading up to anything. And I was right, because the only thing he does is say, we're not having a rose ceremony tonight, we're gonna go to Bimini. It's funny how there's like that subtle product placement of when they first get to Bimini and the girls are like, I'm so happy to be at Resort World Bimini. I mean, obviously the producers told them to say that. It's fine. So, we get to Bimini and Vanessa gets the first one-on-one. Corinne says she's a lucky bitch and is jealous about the date card saying that Nick wants to get deeper with Vanessa. I'm pretty sure whenever he says the word deeper, we all know what he means and that he's probably not capable of it. They go on a boat and they make out with snorkel masks on, which honestly doesn't look like a very romantic moment, but apparently for Vanessa, that's what it took, and she's decided that she's falling in love with him and she's gonna tell him. Meanwhile, back at the house, we find out that there's gonna be a 3-on-1 with Corinne, Raven, and Christina, which should be an interesting combo. Usually Corinne is the self-proclaimed queen of the group dates, but I mean, it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case this week. Also, I didn't realize that Corinne had never had a one-on-one date. I guess that she has stolen Nick away so many times for her own little versions of one-on-one dates that I didn't even notice she had never had an official one. Maybe that is like a bad sign for her that he doesn't actually like her that much. Either that or he's afraid to be in the room alone with her because he knows that he's gonna bang her. Back to the one-on-one date. Vanessa and Nick are at a romantic dinner and Vanessa finally confesses her feelings for him and Nick has the most lukewarm response ever. He said, I really, really like you, but that he wasn't gonna say I love you to anyone because he didn't want to say it to more than one person. I mean, that's fair, but I feel like he could have said this in such a nicer way to Vanessa. But either way, I mean, I think Vanessa is a little crazy to expect him to say, I love you back to her. I mean, you're not special, Vanessa. There are still 5 other women there for a reason, and that's not how the rules of the show go. The rules of the show is that you have to express all your feelings to him and never hear anything back until the end when he decides to choose someone, and then he'll finally say how he feels. All right, so then we get to the 3-on-1, and this is where the fun begins. Raven, although I don't really like her that much, she does have some good one-liners. She's saying that she's gonna punch a shark in the face, and she really hopes that the other 2 girls get eaten by a shark because then she'll definitely get a rose. And hey, I agree with you, Raven. I think that that was the only way that you were gonna get a rose in this date is if the other girls were eaten by a shark, because he's clearly more attracted to Christina and Corinne, or at least so I thought. After they're on the boat, Corinne is upset because Christina is getting all of the attention. So at night, Nick is crying on Christina's shoulder about all of his problems. Wah, 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 it's so hard being the Bachelor. Listen, Nick, you've got champagne problems. Those are not real problems. Real problems are the kind of problems that Christina had, like she had to subsist only eating lipstick in Russia and then was in an orphanage and then had to get adopted to the US, otherwise she would have become a prostitute. Those are real problems. Your problem of having too many women that love you is not a problem. At the end of this group date, totally out of left field in my opinion, Nick gives Raven the group rose. I don't get it at all, but now we know for sure that he is going to Raven's hometown. Is it because she told him that her dad had cancer before? Or does he really like her? I don't know. I feel like when she met his family, it wasn't even that great, so I don't get it. Finally, Danielle M has a one-on-one date next. All the chemistry that used to be there between them is completely gone. I don't think there was ever that much chemistry there to begin with, but whatever was there, the whole thing has totally fizzled out. And Nick, of course, as soon as he can tell that something's not working, he just ends it. His whole speech to her, he's like, your face is pretty great and I like you, but I'm sending you home. The whole thing was just so weird. And I really don't like that Nick sent her home. I feel like this is the kind of girl that Nick would date if he had never left his hometown, because that's where she's from. And she's a neonatal nurse. She's very nice. And like, sure, she's not as wild as some of the other women on the show, but I feel like they would be a good match in real life if he didn't care about being a reality star. But that's who he is. Also, I'm upset because she was the only person on the show representing the itty bitty titty committee. She was probably an A cup at best. And I felt a lot of solidarity with her when I would see her in bikinis. And you know, I know that Nick only really values boobs. So, next, Corinne sneaks into Nick's room and they start playing all this porn music. They've been teasing this moment the entire season. And during the entire season, they've already teased the part that he rejects her. So there wasn't really any suspense here. Like, I knew that he was gonna reject her. The only thing I'm really curious about, which we may never know, is what point did they actually get to? Like, did she take her top off? Did she try to like give him a little hand job or a blow job? Or like, what point did Nick say we're going too far? I wanna know. Inquiring minds want to know. He sent her away and Corinne was upset because her platinum vagine was unable to convince him of whatever it was that she was trying to do. I guess she was trying to seal the deal to make sure that he goes to her hometown. Honey, you already sealed your own deal that he's gonna go to your hometown because you're crazy and everybody wants to meet your nanny Raquel and your rich parents. I wouldn't even worry your pretty little head about any of that as you sadly walk away in your Louboutins. Rachel finally gets her one-on-one. I was so excited that they finally addressed race for the first time in this entire season. They hadn't acknowledged it at all, and finally they addressed the idea that Rachel has never brought a white guy home to her family. And Nick, I think, is very intimidated by the fact that her dad is a judge and also that she is of a different race and maybe he doesn't have so much experience with that. So I thought it was neat that they could have a real conversation about that. And of course, Rachel's fantastic and she's gonna be the next Bachelorette, which of course all of us knew was gonna be the case. Anyway, they have a good date, everything's fine. And then, out of nowhere, he just walks right into the house in the middle of the day and plucks Christina out of there with no makeup on and her plaid shirt and just sends her home. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Why can't we just have the rose ceremony like normal instead of terrorizing these girls in their hotel rooms and making them think that they could get sent home at any point in time? Like, it's better if they can psych themselves out before a rose ceremony and say, okay, I might be getting sent home right now, rather than when they're on vacation in their hotel room trying to relax and then you're going in there like, hey, this is how I feel about you and this is why you can't be here anymore and you need to go home. Dude, it's too much. This shit is cray. Week 7 was cray. Very interested to see what happens in week 8. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me. Are you excited that Rachel's gonna be the next Bachelorette? Because I am. I mean, I made that early prediction a while ago and I'm excited about it. Also, bold move on ABC's part for announcing it way before she actually got sent home. I guess they know that it doesn't matter if we already know what's gonna happen on the show because we are still gonna watch. Yeah, like I said, subscribe, let's keep talking and I'll see you next week. Bye.